Yes, we've been granted, as a private sector commission, been granted observer status to this local government elections. And as such, what you see here, we've set up a command center. We have observers, a little over 60, I believe, all around the 10 administrative regions. So we are fed with information, and if there are issues and so on at any particular polling place, polling station, that information comes to us, and we will then, if we have to relate to GCOM, for example, any immediate action, that is what is happening here. You know, I think you had a look at the screen. You see we've set up a digital mapping where we can pinpoint at any point in time any of the polling places. If there's any problem or any issue, we can deal with that. So that is basically what we're doing here.
Right. Mr. Sears, help me to understand, why did the PSC do this?
Well, it's part of our democracy. It's part of what we want to do as shareholder. You know, we are interested. Private businesses are an important ingredient in the whole, running of a country. So it's important that we know, and you know what have happened in the past. So if there's any way that we can help to make this process simple, that is what we do, and verifiable. So anyone thinking about elections, thinking about our engagement, would be satisfied that we are doing our part, basically.
Okay. Since you've started this morning up until now, have there been any issues raised?
There have been some minor issues. The general report is that the elections have been smooth. I think it's testimony to the GCOM, people at GCOM who, I guess, done a lot of work. So we haven't had many complaints about that. The process has been slow. I think some of the minor issues have been settled. And that is, for example, people might have gone to a particular polling place, and there are other stations within that grouping, let's say 6 or 7, but then maybe the certifying or the information officer did not direct people where they should be, things like that. But that, the GCOM was advised early, and I think they took a quick action. So basically that is all the persons who have come through. We've had some visits by some other observers, and I think they feel that they've all been saying the same thing. The process has been slow but smooth.
Okay.
And be satisfied with that.
You mentioned GCOM has been advised of these issues. Did the private sector commission itself reach out directly to GCOM with these issues?
Well, the position that we have, and based on the advice by GCOM, is that we can't, as observers, interfere.
Yes.
But our observers, when they get the information, they will send it through to this command center, and if it's an issue that we can communicate to GCOM, yes, we will do it from this standpoint.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for coming to our command center. So the command center, we have 8 lines established where persons can call in. These are our observers. As Dr. Sears would have indicated to you, we have over 80 observers, and we have collaborated with AmCham and other agencies to ensure that we expand the pool of observers they had out in the field. Apart from the 8 lines that they can call into, we also have a network, a WhatsApp network. We also have cell phone connectivity. So it's a vast network that we have created here. But the idea is to have all reports. If there's anomalies, if there's situations that are not working well in the fields, they report that to us, and we engage a relevant agency to ensure that is quickly addressed. As Dr. Sears indicated to you, there were instances in the early part of voting where we heard that the process was slow.
Yes.
We've since been advised that that has improved. The process is a lot more streamlined now. We found that the staff of GCOM are very knowledgeable of the process. They're taking their time. They're going through and verifying each and every individual that presents themselves to vote. That in itself takes a little bit of time because they want to ensure that they get it right. They get it perfect in every instance. We've heard no instance of anyone being disenfranchised as a voter, and that speaks volumes, because at the end of the day, we believe from the private sector that each and every person has a right to vote, and they should be allowed to do that. this is for democracy. We strongly promote democracy, and this is one of the instances where all of our citizens are entitled to that, and we want to see that right exercised.
Right. There's a map behind us. Can you tell us what's that?
So we have created an application whereby we have geospatially plotted each and every public polling station in the country. And this, we have pertinent information such as the number of persons entitled to vote. So at the end of the process, based on the SOPs that we'll be receiving, we'll be able to input this information into our database here, and it will be able to tell us things like who would have won based on the votes cast, because we can input for the various political parties. We can also determine what was the percentage of voter participation. We can look at the map in an overarching way to decipher what has changed historically in whatever area based on the information we would have received here at the end of the polling process, at the end of receiving those SOPs. So it's a collective and very comprehensive analysis tool that we're using here. In the event of any emergency, this application also has emergency centers, the police stations, fire service. Any key resource that is required in the case of an emergency, we have it at our fingertips here. Because it's a virtual application, that it's actually online, any one of our observers can log in and have access to this information. So this is real time, and this is ensuring that every single one of our observers is in a position to have information at their fingertips. Sure. This is very critical. We're in a technological age, and we want to ensure that we utilize the tools as best as possible.
Only observers have access to this platform?
At this stage, yes. We want to keep it closed because at the end of the day, there may be some sensitive information that is here. We keep it within our observer network. But this can be scalable, and it can be done in a public way, but we are not ready for that as yet.
Right. Both yourself and Dr. Sears touched on the correlation between elections and investor confidence, perhaps underlying the private sector's stake in this. Can you tell us about the buy-in for this platform?
So this is an in-house application that we've created here right now. It's actually in its testing stages. We're ensuring that it can be fully functional in the future if we need to deploy it. But from the results that we've had so far, it's very promising. The information that we can capture in this particular application, it's mind-boggling. I mean, this is the wave of the future. This is actually what most of the first world countries use. That's why they can do various analysis and prognosis of their system, as well as give you forecasting. This system will allow us to do that.